Sup flappers, welcome to another video. And man, 2021 just seemed to have come and gone like a flash of light. It's just, I find myself middle of October, almost November, and looking back at it, man, what a wonderful year it's been. And before we go any further, for the people who keep saying that Genshin Impact is a perfect game, Genshin Impact is great, stop talking about all this negative stuff about Genshin. All right, I get it. Genshin is a phenomenal game. Till this day, I still rank it in, I would say, the top 10 games I've played in my life. Played a lot of games, all right? It's a great game, but it doesn't come without its caveats. As all games do, Genshin Impact has its flaws, and some people may deem these flaws as detrimental. So here today, I want to walk through with you guys, whether you're a veteran or a player looking on the sidelines, thinking of eventually picking up this game, what's going on? What do we have to look for in Genshin Impact? What you should be looking out for in Genshin Impact, right? So a lot of people do think, oh, it's like a reskin Breath of the Wild, and in some sense you would be right. So let's start at the very beginning, right? Because that's what we need to focus on. I'll walk you through early game, mid game, and end game, and kind of give you a general idea of what kind of playing experience you can expect going through this game, and then you can make the decision whether this game is going to be for you or not. All right, so Genshin Impact has its strongest part built into the beginning and mid part of the game. So when I say that, it's when you get thrown into this world, essentially you have an endless amount of options. Being an open world RPG game, yes, it does have gacha elements to it, but trust me, that quickly becomes a second thought if you can just let yourself get taken along for the ride in the story. It's been proven over and over again that a full free-to-play character loadout can beat the game, and that later I'll speak a little bit on the end of the game, but right now please focus on the beginning. The beginning part of Genshin Impact is truly phenomenal experience, and that's when I say Genshin Impact is a great game. That's truly what I'm referring to. That part of the playthrough was unforgettable, and for most players I think we can echo the same consensus, which is being that Genshin Impact's strongest point has always been the beginning to middle. And as you transition from the early game to the mid game, you'll find yourself filled with purpose, and that is something that lasts for quite a while, and for some it can last longer than others depending on how lucky you are with your farming. Yes, there is an aspect of farming and grinding for powerful gear. These are instance-based domains that you repeatedly run through with your units to farm for items that you can pair, mix and match with your characters to gain more power, to gain boosts and whatnot. All right, and apart from that, they do have a separate weapon system, but that is I'll leave that aside for now because it gets a little overcomplicated. Right now I just want to focus on the player experience. So a lot of repetition gameplay and a lot of fun-filled events that you will come across, which gives you an ample amount of premium currency, along with great limited time weapon choices that sometimes even rival pay to win options. So what I'm essentially saying is Genshin Impact has tailored an amazing free-to-play experience paired with some breathtaking gameplay, and it all culminates into this wonderful late game where you can utilize all your hard work from the early to mid game and transition it all into an amazing and well-packed, well-designed, beyond the sky, beyond the horizon experience in endgame, right? I wish I can tell you that, but this is where the game falls apart, all right? Currently, this is where we are. If you are watching this video near the end of 2021 and you're thinking about picking up Genshin, I can guarantee you that you're going to be getting dozens, if not even 100 hours of good gameplay. I would say the first 48 hours to 60 hours of Genshin, I can't think of another game that has immersed me myself so much, right? The first 60 hours of play. Absolutely phenomenal. All right, I think I've used that word to describe it too many times, excessively, but that's truly where Genshin's strength lies. Is that beginning to early game, but once you get into the end game, right now the game has a lot of problems. Strictly speaking, there is no end game. There isn't anything meaningful you can transition your mid-game growth into. I mentioned earlier that there is this thing called the Spiral Abyss. Yes, it exists. It's supposed to measure up to the endgame experience. However, people have beaten this since patch 1.0, and we are currently on patch 2.2. Forgot for a second there. So we've been 1.0, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, 1.6, 2.0, 2.1, 2.2, and people have cleared this so-called end game all the way back in patch 1.0. Right? So can you really call it end game? I guess it's better than setting an artificial end game like in some games where realistically players can almost never achieve it. It's still something. There is a narrative driven story that is streamlined through all out the game. I think that it's also one of the reasons why people very much enjoy this this adventure that we've embarked on with Genshin Impact. So let me close out everything I've said so far. In patch 2.2 right now, 2021, Genshin Impact is still a great game that takes you along for a great ride, but it comes to a sudden halt towards the end game. When I say end game, usually around level 45 or level 50 is when you're starting to reach this point. 45 still a little early. I would say 50 and above, which can take anyone from a couple weeks to just over a month of meaningful gameplay. Of course, all this is gated behind a resin system where it refills very slowly, and its whole design is to make sure that you don't go through the game too fast. So you can see MiHoYo, the company, has taken precaution into making sure people don't blast through the content too fast, but even then, a month into the game, a month and a half into the game, you're gonna start to realize that you're running out of things to do, and it won't take too long before you come onto the game, do your daily missions, and pretty much just log off. That's the state where most of the players are at right now. And if you ever do see players frustrated with the game, it's mostly because that there's a lack of meaningful things to do in the game, and we feel like we've put in all those hours of grinding and hard work essentially for nothing. At least right now. Looking forward, be on the lookout for MiHoYo releasing potential endgame content or repeatable content in Genshin Impact to add more color to the player experience. So until then, I urge you all to stay safe and peace. Oh, by the way, like and subscribe. Bye. You can say bye now. You can say bye now. That's all I wanted to say. I think the Genshin Impact experience is amazing. But, you know, there's some people, there will always be people out there who says, don't talk about Genshin if you don't have nice things to say. Genshin is the best game ever. Don't say anything negative. Bye.